In 1912, the RMS Titanic stood as the largest moving object in the world, a $400 million feat of maritime engineering and luxury. The White Star Line expressed such confidence in the vessel's design, their vice president publicly assured the world it was mathematically impossible for the ship to sink. This confidence was built on two specific features: a reinforced double-bottom hull and 16 individual watertight compartments. The designers calculated that even if water flooded 4 vertical sections entirely, the ship would maintain enough buoyancy to stay afloat. This faith in the ship's mechanical perfection resulted in a dangerous oversight. The creators believed they engineered a vessel that no longer required a plan for human error. 2 days into its maiden voyage, that calculation failed. The ship struck an iceberg and sank, resulting in the deaths of over 1,500 people. We have to ask how a standard block of floating ice managed to defeat the most advanced machine of the early 20th century. Examining the timeline suggests the iceberg was only the final catalyst. To see how the ship actually fell apart, we have to look at the corporate pressures and broken protocols that stripped the Titanic of its defenses before the collision even occurred. On the night of April 14th, the environmental conditions were working against the crew. The sky was moonless, which reduced visibility to near zero in an area known to be filled with massive icebergs. The crew was aware of the risk. Throughout the day, radio operators received 7 distinct warnings from nearby ships about heavy ice directly in the Titanic's path. Despite these alerts, White Star Line chairman Joseph Bruce Ismay pressured the captain to maintain a reckless speed of 40 kilometers per hour. He wanted the ship to arrive early and set a new transatlantic record. When Captain Smith received a printed ice warning that afternoon, Ismay took the paper and put it in his pocket, hiding the danger from the rest of the crew to ensure the ship didn't slow down. By prioritizing marketing goals over basic navigational safety, the company's leadership removed the ship's ability to react to obstacles in time. At 11:39 p.m., lookout Frederick Fleet was stationed in the crow's nest. Freezing winds caused his eyes to tear up, further masking the darkness. A massive iceberg appeared directly in the path of the ship, leaving the bridge with only seconds to make a decision. The order was to steer left, but steersman Robert Hitchens panicked. He turned the wheel the wrong way, steering the Titanic directly toward the ice. At 11:40 p.m., the ship collided with the ice. This wasn't a head-on impact. The 1.5 million-ton iceberg grazed the right side, striking the vulnerable single-layer hull instead of the reinforced bottom. This diagram shows the specific damage. The weight of the ice buckled the metal and popped rivets, creating a series of breaches across 6 consecutive watertight compartments. Because the damage reached 6 compartments, it instantly bypassed the 4-compartment limit the engineers had set for buoyancy. The unsinkable design proved useless because the physical impact occurred exactly where the ship was most vulnerable. As the ship took on water, the crew's lack of preparation became clear. Captain Smith had never conducted a mandatory safety drill because he believed the ship's design made an emergency impossible. The evacuation was hampered by a shortage of equipment. To save space on the decks, the company only provided 20 lifeboats, enough for roughly half of the 2,200 people on board. Rescue was only 37 kilometers away. The SS Californian was parked for the night and was close enough to see the Titanic on the horizon. However, the Californian's radio operator was asleep, and the captain dismissed the Titanic's distress flares as a high society party, choosing to ignore the calls for help. Without trained personnel, sufficient lifeboats, and active communication, even the best engineering could not save the passengers. By 2:20 a.m., the weight of the water in the flooded bow became too much for the hull to bear. The ship snapped in half and disappeared beneath the surface. 1,500 people were left in the water. At -2 degrees Celsius, the victims succumbed to fatal hypothermia within minutes. While people died in the water, half-empty lifeboats floated nearby, and the only ship responding to the radio calls was still hours away. The massive loss of life was the direct result of specific choices: the decision to cut the number of lifeboats, the failure to train the crew, and the arrogance that ignored incoming warnings. The disaster led to the first global standards for maritime safety. Governments established the International Ice Patrol and signed the Solace Treaty to prevent another tragedy. These new laws made it mandatory for every passenger ship to carry a lifeboat seat for every person on board. The ship remained lost for over 70 years until explorer Robert Ballard found the wreckage, resting 3.8 kilometers deep in 1985. Today, the Titanic is slowly vanishing. Metal-eating bacteria are consuming the framework, and projections suggest the entire ship will disintegrate by 2030. As the wreckage disappears, it leaves behind a permanent lesson. The Titanic serves as a reminder that when corporate speed and arrogance override basic safety, no machine is ever truly unsinkable.